into my little... All right, next on my list. Oh, I can't believe I didn't mention this last episode. I have to get up again. Excuse me just for 1 minute. This is very exciting. It was very exciting about 3 months ago, which is when I received it. And then I forgot to include it in my last podcast, and then it's been a little while from that podcast. So I feel like this is kind of old news now, but I'm going to share it with you nonetheless because it was very exciting when I was asked to be a part of this, and then it was very exciting when I received it. Have you got this book yet? Did you know I'm in it? So this is Flossy Tea Cake's Guide to English Paper Piecing by Florence Knapp. If you don't know who Florence is and you love patchwork and you're into English paper piecing, where have you been? Go and check her out on Instagram. She's at, I'll put it in the show notes, but I'm pretty sure it's at Flossy Tea Cakes. She's from the UK and she is an amazing EPPer. She designed this on the front. This is all fussy cut EPP, which is her signature style. And then she also does beautiful geometric patterns. She's done quite a few using solid fabrics and they're just so striking. But I have known about this book for nearly 2 years now. It wasn't last year, but the year before. Late one night, I was going to bed and a notification popped up on my Instagram that Flossy Tea Cakes has sent you a message. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? So my husband was already asleep in bed and I was getting ready to come and get into bed. But I had to check the message. So I checked the message and Florence was telling me that she was writing a book. And in her book, she was going to be featuring other EPPs that she admires. And would I like to be involved? Really? Of course I would. I literally had to stop myself from screaming with joy. I did a little jump in the air and a little like, yeah. And I quickly messaged her back straight away. I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to. So this book is so much more than just a pattern book. In fact, there is only 2 patterns in this book, but I would recommend it nonetheless. It is not just a book about, as I said, patterns, but it's literally a book on what English paper piecing is. Florence covers the history of it. She talks about the front of the book is what I would call a series of short essays. And Florence has a fantastic blog. You should also check that out. I'll put a link in the comments. But she has an amazing blog and her pieces are always so well written and so well thought out and thought-provoking as well. So it did not surprise me that the first part of this book was Florence's writings and musings on English paper piecing. So she goes through a brief history and there are historic quilts in here. She talks about fabric and language, which is an article that she's written all about how fabric and yarn and stitching references have worked their way into just everyday vernacular, you know, like sayings like, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Let me see if one jumps out at me. Here we go. We talk about hanging on by a thread, the fabric of society, a close-knit community, spinning a tale, the thread of a storyline. So it was really interesting to read like this particular article. I'm thinking, oh my God, yes, of course. I've never thought of it that way. Like it's just these sayings and words just become part of ordinary vernacular, but obviously it comes from the rich craft history of mankind, basically. You know, she talks about working with our hands and why us as crafters just have to make, and we need to be making with our hands and that sort of thing, and creating order in chaos. She talks about fine cell work, which is it's a prison in, I'm pretty sure it's England. It's been a while since I've read it now. And how I think it was a particular lady went in and she taught some of the cellmates the art of hand stitching and that sort of thing. And the article talks about how that really helped the inmates and, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah, so she goes through a couple of different things. She profiles, oh God, what's his name now? Albert Small. She profiles Albert Small. You've probably all seen this amazing work of art. She actually mentions me in this article. I cannot tell you how amazing it was to have Florence talking about Albert Small and then mention me in the same thing. Like, what? That's incredible. Here he is. I don't want to give too much away of the book, so I'm going to show you very quickly. So yes, she just has the whole front of the book is all about, you know, there's also an article on Lucy Boston, and then she talks about spotlight on modern EPPs. So I'm just going to see how many of us are in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So she spotlights 8 what she calls modern EPs. I won't go through all the names. Except this one. Look, that's me in a book. Look, I'm in a book, and so is my work. Cannot tell you. This is like tick off my bucket list, like one of my bucket list ticks. Yep, ticked off the bucket list in this book, this amazing book. There I am. When I got it, I had to wait a week. I received the post notification that I had a parcel at my local post office, and I was like, oh, it's got to be the book. It must be the book. But because I got it at the start of the week, and then I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I don't work anywhere near home, I have to travel to work, I couldn't pick up the book until Friday when I went in to do my grocery shopping with Tilly. So we went in and we picked up the book at the post office, went to the grocery shopping, came back, dumped the grocery shopping on the kitchen bench, straight away opened the book up, and then I was like, oh, and I was like flicking, and I was like, oh my God, there I am. And I was like, Tilly, look, Tilly. And I put it down and she's like, oh, Mum. She's pointing Mum. I got a little video of it too, which was super cute. I might put it in at the end here because it was a really cute moment. But yeah, so Florence had sent me, and she sent everyone obviously as well, a list of questions that we filled in, and then Florence took those pieces and she wrote an article. So, and I'm very happy with the article that Florence wrote, and like I said, I'm just so thrilled to be a part of this amazing book, to be in a book alongside so many other amazing English paper pieces, EPPs, we'll just say EPPs, is just amazing. So then the last part of the book is an introduction and all about techniques. So I'm not going to show you too much, but basically Florence goes through lots of techniques. She goes through fussy cutting, how to tack different shapes, how to work curve shapes in English paper piecing, which is something that I haven't actually tried myself, so I'll be definitely looking to Florence's book for that. And then she has 2 patterns in the book. Just going to flip to 3. Getting there. Okay, so she has 2 patterns. So one is these 3, well, 3 or 4 patterns, actually. These 3 rosettes, and then you can use these rosettes to keep building a quilt. And then the other pattern she's got in here is the ripple effect quilt. So this center piece is all the English paper piecing part, and I think that's I think maybe these bits too, because I haven't really read this part yet. And then this is all machine piece. Isn't that beautiful? And Florence, if you follow her on Instagram, I don't know if she's finished. I think she has finished it. I don't know if she's finished the piecing part, I think, but she's done a miniature down, like a scaled down version of this central floret. So yeah. If you are a fan of English paper piecing, if you want to learn English paper piecing, get this book, because Florence explains things fantastic, like the instructions on techniques and stuff is wonderful. But then I just really enjoyed the front section of this book and reading Florence's writings and reading about Albert Small and Lucy Boston and everything like that. So it's great for inspiration as well. So yeah. So, okay. This is going to be a long episode. I've still got a massive bag of goodies to go through. I should have brought down. Actually, that tea doesn't taste too bad cold. Might be a nice iced tea. I can't remember everything that's in the tea that I'm drinking at the moment, but it does have pomegranate in it. And I think that's what would make it a nice cold iced tea. All right. Ready? Okay, let's go. All right, we're on to page 2 of the show notes. Okay. So, this part of the podcast is all about stash acquisitions. Okay, so I've made some recent purchases, which I'll do them last because they're my favourite purchases. So, like I sort of mentioned, not last month, but in June. So in June, Mum and I made our annual pilgrimage into Sydney. I don't go into Sydney very often. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive into Sydney. And it's not that, I drive an hour and a half to work and back every day. 3 hours driving to work and back every day. So it's not that puts me off going into the city. I just don't really like going into the city that much. I'm more of a country girl. If I'm going to go for a drive somewhere, I want to go to the Southern Highlands, or I want to go down to the coast or something. I don't want to go into Sydney. But every year we go into Sydney, to Darling Harbour, for the Sydney Quilt and Craft Fair. It's a whole day for me and Mum. We get in there for the opening, which is about 9:30. And then we look at all the quilts first. So there's a quilt show. We spend a good couple of hours looking at all the quilts, because it's a really big quilt show too. And then usually we have morning tea by the time we finish that, and then we hit the market stalls. And usually I like to look first, buy second, because otherwise I run away with myself a little bit. I started out that way, and then I was quickly like, oh no, I'll just buy it now. So I tried not to get too much this year, and I didn't actually buy too much fabric at all this year, because obviously I've been doing a big de-stash, and I've been very particular now with the fabrics that I do buy. And yeah, so anyway, so then we looked at all the, went through all the stalls, and by the time we went to have lunch, it was 2 o'clock, and we almost missed out because the lunch vendors were packing up. We probably should have had a break and had lunch. But anyway, And then by the time we got home, I think I got home about 5 p.m. So anyway, I'll show you what I bought. I'm going to go down the list of what I've written on my notes. Okay. So there were, so it's a quilt and craft fair. So there's patchwork vendors, embroidery vendors, paper craft vendors, jewelry vendors, and yarn vendors. There's traditionally not been many yarn vendors. There are a few more this year than last year, but it's not a heavy yarn show. It's more patchwork, like there's mostly patchwork and then the other stuff as well. But one, and I don't think she's been there before. I think this is maybe her first time. But Yarnish, who is actually a local yarn shop to me, semi-local. She's in Mulgoa, which is down near Penrith, which is not in the mountains, but it's down, like I said, the foot of the mountains. So anyway, Yarnish. So I got this from her. So this is Mary Maxim Prism, and this is colour Seascape. It is really soft and squishy. Total. It's 100% acrylic. I almost dropped the other ball. But really, really soft. And this was really cheap. Like $7 or something. Not expensive at all. This is the Yarnish card. Oh, there's a special on the back that I didn't even know about. I think that's probably, yeah, that ended on 24th of June. Anyway, that's her card. And I also got this Shipias swirl. This colour is Watermelon Hellraiser. Oh, hell yeah. Goes really nice with my hair, don't you think? Watermelon Hellraiser. So I need to find a pattern for this. If you have a suggestion for it has to be crochet, no knitting. If you have a suggestion, send me a link. You can put it in the comments below or comment on my show notes in my blog or head to the Ravelry page. Don't forget there's a I don't think I even mentioned. No, I did mention the last episode. I said I was going to open one, and I have now opened a Ravelry group for this podcast. It is called the Miss Leela Handmade Podcast group. I think, pretty sure that's what it is. But I'm sure it'll come up. So yeah, I've got those two. Actually, you know what I was watching last night was Lottie and Albert's podcast, and she was using 2 Shipias swirls in something lines crochet pattern. Between the lines, it's kind of like an optical illusion looking pattern, and it looked really cool because you use, I think the way that it's constructed is you crochet from 2 of these swirls at the same time, and I think you opt to either start on the outside with one and on the inside with the other. Or I don't know. I haven't bought the pattern yet, but I'm considering maybe waiting until I get a second complementary swirl and doing that shawl. It's a really big shawl, but it just looked really cool. So. But I'm happy to hear other suggestions. I have another swirl, not by Shipias, by Katia, I think it is. But I have a pattern for that one already. But yeah, beautiful. So that's that. I'm going to make a big mess now because I'm going to pull all this stuff out of my bag. Okay, next is, I bought this stitch pattern, stitchery pattern. It's made with like little felt shapes. You could buy kits, but I've got lots of felt and lots of fabric and lots of thread. So I just bought the pattern, and I'm going to make this as a Christmas present for Tilly, for her bedroom. The one that was at the show was on like a pale cotton, and it looked much better than the one that's in this picture. I'm not a fan of the dark cotton. So I got this from Material Obsession. Next is next I got from Hatched and Patched. I got this pattern, which is called Nature's Pace iPad case. I really like the little saying on there, and yeah, I really love Hatched and Patched designs. I'll put a link to her shop. You should check her out, but I really liked this. I thought it was really cute. And I thought it doesn't have to be an iPad cover. I thought I could even turn that into just use the stitchery design and turn that into anything really. It could be a project bag or needle cozy of some description. But I liked the adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Which I think kind of really words have escaped me. It's very much me, because obviously the main work that I do with the English paper piecing and the very small English paper piecing, you know, everyone always says to me, oh, you must have so much patience. Well, yes, I do. I have patience in sewing. I do not have patience in the rest of my daily life. Believe me, no patience. Driving, no patience. Get out of my way, basically, when I'm on the road. Get out of my way. But in other aspects of life, sewing mostly, I have lots of patience. So I really like that. I also bought, and I left it upstairs, I'm not going to go running up after it, but I bought a little ceramic dish. It was really cute. And I bought these, just like wool fabric squares. I don't know what I'm going to make out of them, but I really liked the colours. So maybe this can be the bird. I use this fabric, but I could use maybe, anyway. Excuse me. You know what? I might actually, I really do need to get another cup of tea. So I will go and get the little dish and a cup of tea, and I will be right back. Hi, back again. Okay, so I got the little dish. Very cute. I just really liked it. Just sits on my shelf with some dried flowers in it. But it was really cute. So, okay, so I got all that from Hatched and Patched. Yeah. Okay, next I bought, now, Mum and I were at this stand for maybe half an hour looking at all of the threads, because there were lots to choose from and it was really hard to pick. So, pardon the bending over. Okay. So, from the bay window, both Mum and I bought quite a few of these. Just going to get them all together. What is it? Oh. Okay, look at these. It was really hard not to buy more. So these are called, it just says CGT Threads. Australian Certified Colour and Light Fast. Hand dyed. So they're hand dyed. From cottage garden threads. Oh yeah, cottage garden threads. There it is on the side. So I got all pearl threads, but you can also get, I think the other type they do is like a DMC thread, or just like a cotton thread. But these are all hand dyed. So I got all pearl. Oh no, hang on. They come in pearl 8 and pearl 5. No, they come in pearl or normal cotton. I think that's what it is. Maybe this will tell me. Available in 6-stranded pearl 12 and pearl 8. The lovely man, because we were like spending ages looking and picking, he gave us, both of us, one of these printed out color charts, and this has like all the colors from the range. Like, how many pages is it? I don't know, I'm not going to count them. Like 8 pages by the looks of it, of like all this. Yeah, so he gave us, both of us, one of those, which was awesome. So I got apple strudel, Mabel, Tutu, and apricot ice. And then from his stall, I bought these more as a styling prop. I don't know, I may use them. I don't know what I use them for. But these are also a pearl cotton. I got this beautiful aqua, it's tonal though, so there's like an icy blue color in there as well. And this one. Trying to get the best color. Oh, that's good. I'm very impressed with the iPhone 8. It's showing the colors very well. That is pretty much how bright this aqua is. That's pretty good. Because we found a new way to film the podcast. That's good. So I got those two as well. These ones were quite I think these were $12 each or something. These ones were about half that price. Can't really remember now. But there were other ones of these that I really wanted to get, but I just couldn't justify the price, especially not knowing what I was going to use them for, especially if they were just going to be a styling prop to use in my photos. But yeah, these two came away with me. Plus, because these are my branding colours. So I got those threads. And then I also picked up this one from the Cruel Goblin. Again, the colour. So it's like an aquary minty blue. And this is 100% wool thread. Can you see the, can you see the fluff? Can you see the fluff on it? Look at this little, oh, this end's a bit better. So it's rustic wool more. Look at that little sheep, isn't it cute? This is colour 443. There were some beautiful colours, and they really quite had a bit of a, some of them had a bit of a mild kind of look to them. There was a beautiful pink that I wish now I had have gotten as well. But I think this was like $11 maybe. Not the cheapest thread in the world to buy, but, and I don't even know if I'll use it. I just want to keep it like that because it's just so cute. What an awesome styling prop. Anyway. They had some really nice threads. I briefly looked at their website and they have a lot on their website, I think. So, yeah. I'd like to get into a bit more embroidery, I think. Be another thing. I've tried cross stitch in the past and didn't really get there with the cross stitch, but I could do a little bit of embroidery, especially if fabric is involved in some form or other as well. It was a bit of like a cross between applique, and that's why I really liked this pattern, because it was fabric as well. Like you've got the little applique parts, and yeah. Anyway, and okay, last thing. So this is the only fabric that I bought. I did look at lots of fabric, and I did take some photos of things, thinking I might go back and get that if I'm still thinking about it. But at the end of the time when we'd finished looking at all the shops, I didn't have that urge to go back and get the fabrics that I'd like taken little photos of. But when I took the photos, I took a photo of the shop name as well, so that I can always jump online if I was kind of I didn't really want to buy fabric, but I was sort of out like sourcing fabric, like moving forward with the products that I make to sell and then the products for myself. I really want to stick to sort of the style and theme that is my branding and what my business is. So I was kind of on the hunt looking for fabric designers and design houses, and also shops that might carry the sort of fabrics that I would like to use in future items. So that it was kind of more of a sourcing for me, not so much I'm going to buy lots of fabric right now. So the only shop that I bought fabric from was from the Strawberry Thief. So that was the solid Liberty prints that I showed you earlier. And then I also bought, this is her card. I got two because look, they're both the colours that I love. There was look at this. Let's see, definite theme going on with purchasing and stuff. Look, it's all through it. Look, oh, look at all these colours. They all go together. Oh. Can you tell what my two favourite colours are? You should know by now. So I bought this bundle. Comes, look at this beautiful, even this beautiful ribbon, Liberty like fabric ribbon is my colours. I bought this fun bundle of, I think it's cotton. I don't know now if it's linen or cotton. Feels like cotton because it's soft, but it's like a linen kind of, what do you call that? Weave. So it looks like linen. So it's got this nice grey, this sort of muted tealy green. This is the only colour that I'm not a massive fan of, but for a red, it's a really nice red. This pink, and then of course the aqua. So I got that fabric bundle, and then I just bought a couple. Thought I bought more than this actually. Anyway, I just bought a couple of fat 16th Liberty ones. I had to get this one, of course, even though I think it's cheating. So I had to get the hexy print. And I couldn't resist this one. Jemima Puddle Duck. So cute. And then I've got this one in a different colourway, but because I love tea, so I got it in this colourway too. The colourway that I've got is like a hot pink. So that's all I got, fabric-wise. Need to have some of my tea. That's really good. Okay. All right, where are we up to? All right, so the last thing was some books. Oh, so this was free. So when you got to the show, you got this free goodie bag for a shopping bag. Fit lots of stuff in that. They're very smart. They know us crafters spend up big when we go to one of these shows. It came with this free colouring in book. I might give that one to Tilly because I've got lots of colouring in books and she might enjoy that. That was free. Okay. So I got 2 books from Can Do Books, which is I think they pretty much just sell craft books. I'll put a link to them in the show notes as well. But I bought this one. Both the books I bought were from their bargain bin. So this one, they were both $12. So I got this one, which when I was flicking through, it had some handy things in there, different stitches. Actually, it's all about stitches. So machine stitching, and hand stitches as well, but it's literally just about stitches. There's also a part in here about needles, the feet, like what all the different feet are for your sewing machine and what they do, and then like it's got a really good glossary in it. So I just thought that was really handy, like the different needles and what they actually use for, because I have a lot of these things and I think, what do I actually do with that? So yeah, just lots of different, like there's different like tacking, yeah, so overcast stitch, blanket stitch, tack-in stitch, run-in stitch, back stitch. So it goes through hand stitches and then it goes through machine stitching. So the different machine stitches. I don't know if my machine does all these stitches, but it's nice to know what they are. So I thought that would be a really handy book. Kind of like a go-to if I'm like, what the hell is this? What do I do with this kind of book? And then I got this book because I'm new to knitting. Knit It! So I got this one, it was in the bargain bin as well. But it has in the back, no, in the front maybe. So yeah, in the front it has just some basic like instructions on knitting. And then it does have some patterns, and the patterns are designed for beginners, so that's why I kind of liked it. And all the patterns in here I really quite liked. Like I really liked this. I wear a lot of these kind of cardigans, these long cardigans. And I think that's just all, stockinette. But yeah, it has got some hats, so it's got some baby makes in here as well. Like it just got very simple knitting projects, which I think is exactly what I need to get started. There's some, like, it's cute. It's cute baby cardi. Yeah. See, I don't even mind this little like knit dress. It's really cute. Be good for winter to wear over, you know. So, and then it's got some like home decor, like this cushion's really nice. So yeah, I thought that would be quite a good book to start my knitting journey. I really would like to get a copy of the latest edition of Vogue Knitting. Seems like that would be a really good, just like all-in-one encyclopedia of knitting. And I do love a craft book. I have quite a few. There. Do I make anything out of them? No, not really. I don't think I've made anything out of any of my craft books. Like I haven't used any patterns. Oh no, that's not true. I am making one out of the mandala crochet book at the moment. I think that's it. But that's what I would like to do more of, is actually making stuff from the books that I have. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? And also, you know, what else do I have to show you? I won't bother showing you that. I was going to show you this because look this little ball of yarn, isn't it cute? We get all the craft magazines very late in Australia, so you guys in the UK, this is probably about 4 months old for you, but I only got it last month. Okay. I just have 3 more things to show you, and then I have something really exciting to share with you. So if you've stuck it out this long, it's not too much more to go, I promise. Okay. Look at this. Do you follow this lady on Instagram? If you don't, please do. Her name is Quilt Queen. That's Queen spelt KW. Quilt spelt the way you spell quilt. Queen spelt KW. Quilt Queen. I'll put a link in the show notes. I bought this. I started following her. What is it? Needles, Hands and Thread? Needle, Hands and Wool podcast and yarn. Fibre of the People. Her yarn shop is called Fibre of the People. Her podcast is Wool, Needles, Hands, I think. I'll put it in the show notes. Anyway, she's a yarn dye in the US and she has a really great podcast. You can tell she's been doing it for a while because she's like seamless, unlike me, who's a bit all over the place. She's seamless. She has her segments all set out and it's all very nice. And she likes to feature every now and then things that she has found that she loves. And she featured Quilt Queen. And I was like, love it. So straight away onto Instagram, follow. And then I saw a couple of weeks ago that she had a shop update. And this was definitely an impulse purchase because I could not get it. Not the cheapest bag to buy with the exchange rate. Actually very well priced if you don't have the exchange rate. Excuse me, my voice just got tea time. But you know, for the workmanship, totally worth it. So she has developed her style beautifully. It is all about, she uses pretty much all block prints and it's all just geometric. She has quilts that she does. She makes project bags. She has some larger project bags I'd really like to get my hands on as well. But to start my collection, I just started with this one. Just has this print inside. There's her label, Queen. And yeah, like how awesome is it that you get this like timber little pull, gold zip. So it's a small size project bag. So you'd fit like a sock project in that, I'm assuming, if I knitted socks. But yeah, love it. So that added to my, oh look, my project bags match pretty good, don't they? I'm all about matching. I went shopping at Spotlight. I don't know if you saw my post on Instagram this week. I pretty much bought everything that I put in my shopping cart was a dusty pink colour. Because it's one of my favourites. Okay, moving on. I bought myself some stitch markers. Which one is mine? This one. I haven't put it out of the packet yet. Can you see them? There's a little sewing machine, a little tape measure. I love sewing. A thimble. Oh, I should take it out. What have we got? Buttons, thimble, tape measure, scissors, like the embroidery scissors, sewing machine. Oh, that's the thread. A spool. See that spool? And then the I love sewing. And then a little free thank you beaded one. And then I got one to put in the giveaway box. I love knitting, even though I don't do it. I will love it. I will love it one day. But it's got yarn, look, a jumper on knitting needles, scissors, a knitted scarf. What's that? A spinning wheel. And an I love knitting. I'm going to keep this one in the packet because it's going in the giveaway box. And there's also a little thank you one for that too. So I got this from Mark My Stitches. She has an Etsy shop. She is from, I'm pretty sure, Sydney, Australia. Not far from me. So yes, so I got that. I got those. And the last thing I want to show you in terms of acquisitions is another impulse buy because it was on sale. Do you love it? Because I totally love it. I'm really into these wicker baskets. Like, isn't that the cutest handbag you've ever seen? Like, or one of them, because I've seen quite a few recently. I've recently seen a hexagon shaped one. Oh, what? What? Perfect to store some knitting in, or some crocheting, or just to use as a handbag when you're going out. I got this from the Ivory Fawn. They're also in Australia. I think they make them to order because it took about 3 weeks to get it, but that's okay. It was worth the wait. There's quite a few. I follow a couple of different basket shops, and because I love vintage sewing baskets, I'm always on the lookout for like vintage sewing baskets that are still like not too damaged and they're in good condition. I've got one that sits on my making table that I keep all my sewing tools and stuff in, so it's handy. I can just open it up, shove it all in. It smells a bit funny, but it's made from natural products. I love it. I love it. Okay, that's it. That's not the end of the podcast, but that's all I've got to show you. So, the last bit that I wanted to chat about was something exciting. Exciting for me because I haven't done it before. Hopefully exciting for you because I hope you'll join in, because it's a joining in thing. Yay! I am going to run my first make-along. Yay! Fireworks. I feel really silly today. So, I've been thinking up a couple of ideas for make-alongs, and the first one I thought that I would do is going to run from, I don't know what the date is, but Sunday, the first Sunday in August, and it will run until, I'll work that out, but I think December sometime, maybe the end of December. So it's a long one, but the reason it's a long one is because it is called the Sunday Scrap Along. So the idea is that it's a scrap project make along. So I'm going to have all the rules in, I'm going to do a blog post on it, and I'll have the rules in my Ravelry group. I'm going to have a thread there for this make along. There'll be a works in progress thread or chatter thread, and there'll be a finished objects thread for this make along. I will be pulling prizes over the next couple of months for both out of both threads. And the idea is that you make a project, or whips are included. So if you have a project already on the go, you can include it in this make along. And the only main rule is that 50%, a minimum of 50% of the project needs to be made from scraps. Whether that is scrap yarn, scrap thread, scrap felt, scrap fabric, any type of scrap. And it's a make along, so any type of project. So it can be patchwork, crochet, knitting, felting, weaving, cross stitch. Maybe you make cross stitch from scraps of threads, like whatever. Basically it's just a scrap along. So I think 50%, I might raise that to 70%, 50 to 70%, but the majority of it should be made from scraps. So for example, every Sunday from now until December, I will make sure that I work at least 1 hour a day or on the Sunday on this. You've seen it before, I'm pretty sure. Which is my scrappy 1-inch hexagon quilt. And I put it out on the queen bed the other day, and I still have a fair way to go to get it to the size I want it to be. So that's why I kind of thought I'm going to do a make-along, because I would love to sit and sew on Sunday with all my lovely friendly makers and share the progress of my scrap project. So I hope you'll come and join me. I'm very excited. I'm going to set up the Ravelry threads either today or tomorrow, but it'll be all set up and ready to go by this Sunday. So the date today is, I can't tell because I'm filming on my phone. It's the 3rd today, it's Friday the 3rd. So this make along will start on the 5th. That's right, isn't it? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On the 5th. August the 5th, Sunday, August the 5th. Come and join me for my Sunday scrap along. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you are too. So, without further ado, I think that's all for this month, because it's been a little while. Did you know, I haven't yet talked about the weather. Did I mention the weather has been really nice? I know you're all sweltering in Europe, but I have been freezing my little tushy off over here. But the last couple of weeks, towards the end of July and the start of August, has been very mild, and we've been enjoying lovely sunny days around the 20 degree, 21 degree. It's been beautiful in the sun. I wish I had wanted to go out more, but all the things that I like to do the most are inside things. I mean, I can sew outside, but I've got to keep an eye on Tilly if I'm outside and make sure she doesn't step in too much dog poo, because Indy likes to just do it wherever. So, yeah. I think that's all. I've waffled on for, well, the first bit was over an hour, and this bit has gone for nearly 30 minutes. I'm watching it now. It's 29.15. So I think it's time to wrap it up. I've waffled on long enough. I already said that. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've stuck it out this long, thumbs up to you. Give me a thumbs up if you'd like. I'd love that. If you want to have a comment, I'd love reading comments. If you'd like to see more of my podcasts, please hit the subscribe button. I do love sitting down and chatting with you. I'm sorry it's been so long. That's all. Until next time, join me on Sunday for the scrap along. Bye.